This tutorial is to assist our contract employees in completing their annual in-service 2021 computer-based training. The email I'm about to send out will have directions of much of what I'm going to discuss in this video, and it'll have an attachment here called the 2021 In-Service Contract Vendor Training Program Completion Report. This is the document that can be shared with your individual contractors, your contract managers, because this is the document that was created by the PMCD unit for the individual contract employees to fill out and complete and turn in to their contract manager and their PMCD unit or contact for auditing purposes. This is their version of, it's our version, I should say it's similar to the CAR 854 we fill out for training. This is their version of that. In this document, each line will be the individual course the contractor completes. They will need to fill this out electronically. They can also print it out and handwrite it in, but then they will need to have it scanned and forwarded electronically. Down here in the bottom, it states that by signing below, I'm acknowledging that I have completed all of the above listed vendor contract MDOC trainings with a passing score of 70% or higher as required by the department. If I have any questions, I will ask my supervisor or manager. They will then fill in their last name, first name, signature, the date of completion, their agency name, and their work site. Up here at the top, it reflects the 2021 In-Service Contractor Vending Training Program Report, and here is a link that they will click on to access their training. Once they click on the link, the course will open just like this, and they can scroll down for directions. It talks about what steps they can take to complete this training. First, they're going to complete the lesson, complete lesson 1 below to retrieve that completion report form in case it was not mailed to them directly, because we had several instances of that. I provide it again in this training. They need to choose the lesson that fits the category of their contractual status, and then they need to be sure to turn in the completion report forms for the proof of completion. Keeping in mind, there are no completion certificates with this type of training. Section 1 is where the contractor will go to, and it'll explain that this completion report must be completed for validation of the training. It must be 70% or higher. Here they can click on this blue button. It'll open up their Outlook email so that they can directly email PMCD the certificate. It explains to them that they can write it in, or they can print it out, or they can handwrite it in, or they can electronically fill it in. And who needs to receive this report? The program manager, contract monitor, and the on-site training officer if they work at a CFA location. And then again, here is the report or the document. Section 2, and they'll want to go back. They can go back to the home by clicking on the square over here on the left. It'll take them back here. This is where they need to decide or pick out or choose, which contract status they are. This one, for instance, when you click on Section 2, it states that these are contract employees who only provide services to offenders through written communication or over the phone, never in person or face-to-face. And then I give some examples of what they might be. And then they'll go down, and it'll state that they have no classroom or virtual training required for this year, but they do have 2 computer courses they're expected to do. Section 3 is for our offender success contractors who provide services in the community. And then these are some examples of those. And again, it states that they have no classroom training to complete, but they have these 3 CBTs to complete here. And then it goes into Section 4, contractors escorted with limited access, and examples again right here. And then it goes into the security awareness form level 1 only. This one's a little bit different. It's intended to be done initially as they are new to the contract, not something that has to be done every year. I can go into more details about that if you have questions. And then section 5 is for contractors who provide services at CFA locations under a memo of understanding, such as our community college instructors or legal services. Again, they have no virtual or classroom training required, but they do have these 3 computer courses to complete. These are federally mandated or by litigation mandated, not something that we can maneuver around. Section 6 is for your compensated and uncompensated with offender contact, which is your not, but also is not BHCS employees, and they are full or part-time. Again, some examples, different types of college instructors, Braille program staff, our GTL. They do not have, or it states that they do have virtual classroom training that is required, and that is discriminatory harassment for 2 hours. And then here are their computer courses they need to complete. They're in alphabetical order. And then section 7, our biggest section, breaks down, our BHCS contract, full or part-time. They do have classroom training to complete. It's listed here. It states that they need to see their CFA location HRD for signing up. And then it goes into the required computer-based courses now available for the 2021 training year. And then they're all listed here in alphabetical order, quite a few of them. Now, I haven't pointed this out yet, but when they click on this training, all they have to do is click on this green button here. And the course itself will open so that they can go through the course and complete it. It'll take them all the way through the quiz. Once they're done with the course, all they have to do is click this X up here at the top, and it takes them back to the main page where they can then open their next course and complete that one. It then goes on to section 8, which is 2.9. This is your oncologist, audiologist. These are your specialty providers. They do not have classroom training, although they do have some computer courses to complete. Those are listed there. And then we have our telemed or telepsych providers. They do not have classroom training, but they do have a few computer courses to complete. And then we have section 10, which is the COVID-19 Keeping You Safe at Work. Now, all contractors are not required to complete this training. I don't know if you guys have an individual list of who needs to complete it, but I know I've had some contractors reach out about it. The training itself was provided by the Office of State Employer and is loaded into the Learning Center. It is not available to contractors, so the training division worked on ensuring that the course was accessible through this means for those contractors who do need to complete it. It gives a little excerpt here. They'll be able to click on this button, and then it will then open the course, the same course that we are completing in the State of Michigan Learning Center. And then it goes in as you prepare for your return to the office. Below are some guidelines. And then the state screening. I actually got this information from Edna Plass' email that was sent out. So that is the in-service contract training. Please reach out if you have any questions.